I'm just really happy to be talking to everyone. It's been a long time since I've got out on the road or went, and played a show. Um, I'm really excited about the music that I have to share with you guys. And I'm just, thank you for even being interested to talking to me. It means a lot.
Thank you so much. It's an honor for us. Trust me. Now I'm going to start with the questions. First, I have André from Pólvora. André, ¿estás listo?
Sí, listo. ¿Me
All right.
escuchas?
Yes, sí, te escuchamos. Go ahead.
Oh, okay. Bueno, thank you, Linda. Thanks for these minutes. Nice to meet you. Well, in 1992, you started everything with Four Non Blondes and this album. So it was very different scene. It was there was a time where there was a lot of bands coming out with women on the front, like L7, Garbage, Bro, Hole, Alanis. There was like a little bit explosion, and MTV was putting videos on TV, not like today that everything is different. So, what are your memories from this record? Are you ready for the success at that time? And why only there's one Four Non Blondes album?
Okay, so first question, uh, was am I, was I ready for the success? Was that the first question?
Yeah, yeah.
Okay. Um, well, one, I'll address the difference. Yes, it's very different, 2024 compared to 1990 is when Four Non Blondes showed up. And, you had to do things differently back then. There was, instead of Instagram, you actually made flyers and you went and posted them all over, the city. You were mingling, you were out and about, you were rehearsing a lot and discovering who you are instead of just, oh, I want to be a star, go in a studio, make an album. So things are very different. I'm not saying one is better than the other, but it is different for the artist because I'm noticing artists are not having the opportunity to develop. They're just kind of getting signed because they have a lot of followers or whatever, and then they're thrown into the studio to make a record by all these other people, and they're not able to define or clarify who they are as an artist, and therefore you're seeing artists just come bing 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 because no one can last right now because they don't know who they are. So there's that. I've been ready for success since the day I was born. I've been living my life as a rock star from day one. I'm not successful enough, I still work very, very hard. I explore the possibilities, which are awesome. Music is filled with endless possibilities. And I encourage everyone to do that, to explore the possibilities in it. It's really a beautiful business if you don't take it personal. You know what I mean? Life is great if you don't take it personal. And why only one album was, all honesty, I was not happy with being in Four Non Blondes. I wanted to explore and I wanted to do country. I wanted to do rock. I wanted to do punk. I wanted to explore who I was as an artist. And the other members in the band wanted to be just this one singular particular thing. And it's not who I am. So by the second record, I wrote a bunch of great songs, but honestly, I wasn't happy. And my happiness and my mental state of mind is extremely important. It outweighs being in a popular band and selling million records. I have to have a sane scratch that. I'm never going to be sane, but I have to have somewhat of a healthy, you know, foundation in order for me to survive. So I opted to leave the band because I could see I was going to get more unhappy. And I chose to risk it and start all over than stay in a situation that was unhealthy for me.
Yeah, and then you make In Flight, the In Flight album. So there was a song called Knock Me Out with Grace Slick. Amazing. It was on the Crow to City of Angels soundtrack.
Yes.
So is this one the first collaboration with another singer of this level? Because Grace Slick was a goddess in the 70s, 60s. And what can you recall from this adventure with Grace? And then the latest one with Dolly Parton on the What's Up?
So Grace Slick is so incredibly, I mean, she's powerful. When you walk into the room, she's just has a big presence, right? And she loved my voice right off the top. And we got along really well. And I played her the song, you know, this, I said, I want this to be a duet between two powerful women. And she loved it, and it was really great. It was short-lived, you know, we didn't hang out a long time, but it was a really wonderful experience. And yes, you are correct. That was my first experience of collaborating with another artist and doing a duet. So cut to, you know, singing with another incredibly powerful woman, Dolly Parton, was a pretty magical experience. I mean, Dolly Parton is just on a whole other level. And that was really awesome because it made me feel good. It made me feel like, okay, I must be doing something right. I must be on the right path. That someone like Dolly Parton is totally digging me, and we're singing together. And I wrote a bunch of songs with her for that, the Dumpling movie. That was, I don't know if you guys ever saw that, but it's on Netflix. It's called Dumpling. And Dolly and I wrote 6 songs together. And it was pretty awesome. So, but little does people know, my voice appears on Pink's album, Christina's albums, Alicia Keys. Like, my voice is always on backgrounds somewhere in everything I've ever done. Cheap Trick. I mean, anything I've done, my voice is in there. So in a sense, I have collaborated and have sung a lot with a lot of different artists.
Well, thank you, Linda. Hope to see you soon here in HERA Festival.
Oh, you will? Are you?
Okay. Thank you. Gracias, Adri.
Gracias, Andre. Thank you, Linda. Now I'm going with Gabriela Acosta from Publimetro. I'm going to say the question for her, and she says, you opened the way for many women in music, and what does it mean to you to be participating in the first women's festival in Mexico?
Well, I didn't even know until Diana and Guillermo presented this festival to me. I had no idea. I've always complained here that where are the women festivals? Long time ago, we had Lilith Fair, Lilith Fair or Lilith Festival.
Uh-huh.
Yeah, and but that one was a little too, to me, a little too soft. You know, it didn't have punch. It didn't have a lot of edge. So I was so excited to hear that, of course, Mexico City has a incredible, powerful festival. So I'm really excited about being a part of it. I'm really excited about taking my experience and bringing it back here to America to get people on board with doing more in America, because it's important. And I think what is happening is not enough equality in that area. So I'm really, happy to hear that this has been a successful festival. And I'm just really excited about it. I was so, thankful to Diana and Guillermo for bringing this to my attention, and then getting me on the bill. I didn't like, boo, and then all of a sudden I'm playing. So that was pretty awesome.
Thank you so much, Linda. And now I'm moving on with Azul. She is from Excelsior newspaper. Azul, please.
Hi, Linda. Nice to talk to you. I'm very curious because you just said that it was very different 2024 than 1990s. And I really want to know your opinion about how it has changed the music industry in what it takes along with girls. It means, I mean, how is nowadays to be a woman in music industry, and it is different from being a woman in 1990s?
That's a loaded question because there's so many things in that. It's been hard every decade, since, back in 1904 for women. It's women in arts, women in everything have always had to work harder, struggle, and have been rejected so many times. 1990, there was a rise of women kind of rebels, so the rise of the rebel showed up, and you had Riot Girl, you had Courtney Love, you had punk, you had rock, you had all these girls that had political statements, from Tracy Chapman to Melissa Etheridge and Ani DeFranco, and so I guess for me, what the biggest difference of all would be in 1990, when women empowerment somewhat, we'll just say, kind of showed up, right? There was a poetry to it. There was a message attached. There was art and sound and words that were expressing this, we need to be empowered, fuck the, government, all that stuff, right? It was like a big moment of political awareness, and women stepping into their own, realizing they don't have to wear lipstick, and their boobs don't have to be hanging out, all that stuff, right? So we had a different type of girl. She wore t-shirts. She didn't look like the normal girl. Okay, and then we cut to 2000, where the boy bands start showing up, bigger boy bands, right? All that stuff. Things happened, between 90s and 2000, but then it was the solo girl, Christina Aguilera, Pink, all these girls. Again, now what are they bringing? Their message is pop. They're bringing, I want to be a pop star. They're bringing sexy back, like the whole look. So I guess today, I would say one thing that's really powerful is women are better business people right now. A lot of empowered women, Taylor Swift, Beyonce, Rihanna, these are very powerful women that are extremely smart business women. Positive. That's a positive. But it's sorry for the long answer, but it's a little like it's misguided, because you think because Taylor Swift, Beyonce, Rihanna, all these women are in front of your face in pop. The reality is still 12% of women make the music business. Women are not heavy in rock and roll, country, metal, R&B, rap, all other folk, it's a male dominated business. There's 12% women in the music business. There are 2% women that are producers, 2%, right? And there's something like 8% that are songwriters. So it kind of, when you see all the girls in front, it gives you the illusion that women are in control, but it's really not the case. So what I'd like to see more as the HERA Festival, bringing women to the forefront. I'd like to see more women being producers, engineers, sound mixers, sound engineers for live shows, tour managers, women running the companies, women marketing companies, women roadies, you know, all women artists, performers, guitar players, drummers, bass players. What women designs a keyboard? Can you name one woman that designs a keyboard or a guitar or an amplifier or a microphone? There are none. That's how many? Zero. So do you see how your question is not just about 1999 to 2024? Now, you know what I'd like to see more from just everybody in general is I want to see more of a message behind the song. I want to hear more of a statement behind these things. I want to see less of everybody's fashion and what they did over the weekend on their yacht and their fashion line. I'd like to hear more about where their music comes from, why they write music, and what they intend to do in the business to help people discover their talents in a greater, ratio, like I want to see it a bigger. So anyways, I can talk a lot about that, but I'll end there. Thank you,
Thank you.
Azul.
Thank you, Azul. Thank you, Linda. Now I'm moving on with Bárbara from Eufónico MX. Bárbara, can you hear me?
Gracias, Adri. Muchas gracias.
Please. De
Hi,
nada.
Linda. It's a big pleasure to talk to you today. We're so excited that you're going to be ahead in the lineup of the HERA Festival. And well, my question is specifically talking about the new music. They have been an encouragement for Latina people, for Latina women, and also there are many changes that have been approaching with the new music industry that it's just in a little steps trying to encourage women. But do you have your eye on any new artist or band that you especially like or excited about their project right now? Maybe someone in the Latin scene is there at the lineup of the festival that you like or are excited to see?
For me, one of the reasons I even called Diana was because I love Mon Laferte. I mean, I think she's amazing. I mean, she is so like, she's surprising to me all the time. From her videos to her songs to just the way she presents herself. She's got a great, great vibe, and I love her. I don't know enough about Latin music, and that is the truth. And again, one of the reasons I reached out to Criteria because I'm Brazilian. My mother was born in Sao Paulo. My father is from Portugal. And I have not dived enough into my Latin roots, but I have it in me. But it's kind of like I kind of forgot about that piece. And one day I was sitting around going, you know what? I got to get in touch with my Latin side because I know it's there. And so I had met Diana through Mon, and I called her up and I'm like, hey, would you be interested in working with me? And because I want to present myself, I want to get in the Latin market, not to dominate, not to take over, but to experience something I haven't, to open a part of me that exists that I have not had an opportunity to do so. So I'm I'm looking forward to being in the energy of this world. I'm looking forward to coming to Mexico City and walking around and talking to people, talking to you, because I'm a nobody in this area. And I just want to come down and I want to learn. I want to feel the energy. I want to have an incredible experience. And what the bigger picture would be, I would love to collaborate. I would love to work with some of the artists, and just kind of put my energy into the Latin world, because it's in me. It's like wanting to come out, but I don't know how to do it on my own. So I need help.
Totally. And actually, thank you so much for give us those amazing anthems that create a before and after in the female music industry. Thank you so much.
Thank
Gracias,
you.
Adri.
Gracias, Barbara. Thank you. Now I'm move on with Salomón from Vinyl MX. Salomón, ¿me escuchas? Salomón? I think he doesn't hear me.
Sí,
Salomón.
Adriana, hola.
¿Sí?
Hola,
Ah,
Adriana.
sí, vas.
Eh,
Haz
me-
tu
me gu-
pregunta.
me gust- Hola, Adriana. Me gustaría que me ayudaras con la traducción.
Okay, está bien. I'm gonna
Eh,
help him with the translation, Linda.
Hola, Linda. Muchas gracias por el tiempo. Hace 30 años tocaste en Acapulco. El set fue muy corto, tocaste 5 canciones. ¿Qué tienes preparado para este concierto, en especial para Ciudad de México?
So he says that 30 years ago you played in Acapulco, a very short set, and he says that what do you have prepared now for your upcoming visit to Mexico City?
What's funny about that Acapulco, I remember it very well.
Cool.
It was an interesting experience, because when we came down there, we were getting an award, and honestly, I can't remember what we were getting the award for. But we were there all day setting up, and I guess Richard Marx played the night before us. And so when we were doing our sound check, they kept telling us to turn it down, turn it down. I mean, it was comical. It was like, I mean, I didn't even need an amplifier or a microphone at that point. It was so low. I could just like, okay, why don't we just do an acoustic set? And so that's what I kept on saying. But the people at the TV presentation, because it was being filmed, were they weren't being very diplomatic, you know, they weren't being very kind to us, you know, and I just kept on saying, why can't we just play acoustic? I'm totally down with turning down, but it doesn't make sense to be on drums and electric at this level. Anyways, we get through it, but I was upset. I'm not gonna lie, I was upset. And you know, I'm a 20-something-year-old, aggressive, rebellious, Aries, Latin, fiery woman. So we start playing our show, and then when we played What's Up, the original version, everybody was like going, what is this? And we realized the version that they knew was the remix, the doo doo doo, you know, what's going on? We had no idea that what the popular version in Acapulco was the remix. And so when we're playing it, everybody's like looking at us like, and then the one of the producers tells our manager, and she kind of waves me off. I go over there. She's like, they want the other version. And I'm like, I don't know what the fucking other version is. What? And then, so we had a very short set. Because of that, it got very confusing. I was losing my patience, and we just cut it short.
Wow, that is a great anecdote. We didn't know. Well, certainly I didn't know any of that. So
Yeah.
for your show, like, is there any expectation for your upcoming show in HERA? Do you have any expectation now, or is there something that you have prepared for this show?
Yeah, Yeah, so I'll play the two major songs everybody will want to hear, Beautiful and What's Up. But what I'd like to do is I wrote, because I have a documentary coming out. It's called Let It Die Here. It's a very personal documentary. It's not like a fluff piece. It's not about, oh, look at Linda Perry. It's about my mental state of mind and how I can be a little crazy and spiral out. It's a very honest, very to an embarrassing, place where it's like almost embarrassing. But I had some stuff happen in the documentary. So I wrote a whole album to go along with the documentary. Very beautiful songs. I don't think anybody is going to be disappointed. I think people are actually going to be extremely moved. I'm very happy about this music. And then I'll throw in What's Up for everybody to sing along with and Beautiful. But I want to, I guess my expectations is I don't have any. I just want to go play. I want to enjoy it. I want the people to enjoy. And I feel that it's going to be a great experience no matter what.
All right. Thank you. Gracias, Salomón.
Thank you, Linda. Gracias, Adriana.
De
Oh,
nada.
thank you.
Thanks. Now I'm moving on with Patricia Villanueva from El Heraldo de México newspaper. Patricia, ¿me escuchas?
Yes, hi. Hi, Linda.
Hi.
My question is, you already talked about the low percentage of women behind the scenes. What is need to change that?
Patricia, it's a very good question because I think we're trying to figure it out, because what happens is the truth, what I think is the truth. So I say we have 2% women that are producers, right? But really, if you understand what a producer does, it's a lot of work. It's a lot of hours. And honestly, women don't want to put in those hours. They don't, So I think that women are more inclined to just like, I'm just going to they're going to work on their music, but they're not going to go and produce somebody else, because when you do that, you're putting in a lot of hours. Like I'll get here at 8:30 in the morning, and sometimes I don't leave till 2 in the morning because I'm so driven and so excited, but I'm a machine that way. I'm a workaholic. Also, I think that there's not enough. So back in, let's just say 70s, 80s, 90s, if you ever looked at, I don't know how old everybody is, but if you ever looked at magazines back then, you go through Rolling Stone, there was Cream magazine, Spin, all that, and you would see, Rolling Stones, and you would look in the back and you would see the producer. Now, it wasn't a sexy visual. The producers always looked a little overweight, a little tired looking. It wasn't sexy at all, right? So what woman is going to look at that and go, oh, I want to strive to be a producer? So it wasn't a good place for women to put their focus on, because it looked like not a very elegant, glamorous job. And engineering, people don't even talk about that. Now, see, when I go over here, where am I? So here's my patch bay. So all those cables, all this stuff down here, all this, you got to know what all this shit does, and if you don't go to school, you can't figure it out. And so not enough women are being inspired enough to go figure out what all this does, because it seems almost not enough kids in general are. Also, I'll tell you why, because all that stuff I just showed you barely exists. Like, I'm one of very few studios that has all this incredible outboard gear. So I guess the answer to the question, the best thing I know how to do is try to mentor girls. I have an organization called Equalizer, where we give girls grants to go to schools to learn about engineering production. Girls like Olivia Rodrigo, Brandy Carlisle let us bring our girls into their sound checks so the kids can hang out by the sound guy, the tour manager, get on stage. They get to have this experience. So these are the things I'm doing. And there are a handful like She's the Music, Alicia Keys Foundation, Moving the Units, Moving the Needle in New York. There's organizations getting together, but I guess it has to start with are the girls inspired to do so? They're not inspired. Like, last thing I'll say, in my studio, I used to have an assistant, and that was Luis. And Luis decided, I had him for 8 years. He decided he didn't want to do this kind of business anymore. I have been here for a year, working all by myself, doing everything because I refuse to hire a man, but I can't find a girl that can do the job. But what I'm not going to do is hire a girl that can't do the job just to give her a job because she's a girl. So that's, you understand? I mean, I'm not going to do that. That's not good for a woman for me to go, okay, because you're a woman, I'm going to give you this job. They have to earn but I can't find a girl to come in here and do what I need them to do because they only know how to do this, Pro Tools. They only know how to go in Pro Tools. They don't know how to do all the other stuff. So anyway, sorry, so long, that question, the answer.
Thank you. Thank you.
No, actually, not at all. It's quite insightful, all about that. And, like you say, to inspire girls and women to, look around and see that we are all over the place, like in production, sound, engineering, like you said. Thanks for that.
Of course.
Now I'm moving on with Fernanda Torres from Reforma newspaper. Fernanda, can you hear me?
Yes.
Thank you.
Hi.
Go ahead, Fernanda.
So now that you are willing to connect with your Latin side, how would you like to do it? I mean, like in a full album, writing for some other artists. And also asking you, what do you think about Latin music in general dominating the international market? Because in the past, it seemed like really impossible because now we see people like you've been working on, like Christina herself trying again just a few years ago doing mariachi and urbano. And how do you see all this scene in the Latin music?
I feel that Latin music, what they're doing is experimenting more now, where the other, like America, I don't know what is going on over here. It's like everybody's chasing, the influence, I told you, the fashion, the money. They're chasing the money, trying to establish themselves. And, there's some really great artists, that are coming out. But what I've noticed, so since I've been, being represented by Criteria, they're opening my ears and my eyes to all the new artists. Guillermo sent me some really great producers. So I guess the plan for me, if I see it, properly, and again, Criteria and I are trying to really formulate a plan, would be this show to present, oh, there's Linda, and then get me back out there and on, everybody's radar, and then collaborate with some artists, whether I'm writing with them or producing with them. I wanted to collaborate on stuff of my own. Maybe there's some music that I have that, with the help of, a Latin producer, can help, bring it into the Latin world, because again, like I said, not my world at all. I don't know. I can hear the sounds, the sonic differences, and I could probably put it all together, but I think it would be way more fun to work with somebody, you know, there that has the experience, that already has the name and the know-how. And I guess that would be the way I would plan it out first. So Linda's gonna go play HERA, gonna make everybody fall in love with me again. Then I'm going to collaborate with some awesome artists that are blossoming and rising. And then I'm going to have somebody produce some of my own songs so I can give the Latin market something completely different than what I'm doing over here in America.
That's great. Thank you so much, Linda.
Of course, thank you.
Gracias, Fer. Thank you, Linda. Now I'm moving on with Arnulfo from Síntesis Hidalgo. Arnulfo.
Gracias, Adri. Muy buen
Ajá.
día. Hi, Linda.
Hi.
Good to see you. I have a question. With great respect, I want to ask you, how much influence on your musical career did you have from Jonette Napolitano, aka Concrete Blonde?
Jeanette is really great, but I didn't even. Now, I just want to be clear. We always got mistake for Concrete Blonde. So everybody was like, "Oh, we love that song, Joey." And then
Yeah.
I talked to her, and she's like, "Everybody says I love that song. What's up?" So Concrete Blonde was getting What's Up. Four Non Blondes was getting, you know, Joey. But as much as I love her voice and what she does, there was no influence on anything that I do. If anything, my influence came more from Led Zeppelin, Robert Plant. I loved Karen Carpenter was a really big influence for me. Janis Joplin, a little bit, only her rebellious, her freedom, but not really her singing style or her songs. But I loved what she stood for. So those would be the biggest influences for me, and Fleetwood Mac, you know. So my influences are a little bit, you know, from here to there, and but love Jonette. I think amazing, and we did have an opportunity to meet and talk, and it was fun. But yeah, no influence from there at all.
Okay.
Besides the
Thank you.
name, which I didn't come up with the name. The band came up with the name, and to be quite honest, the name bugged me so much. Four Non Blondes. I was like, what the hell? And I was outvoted. So I was like, all right, we'll go with Four Non Blondes.
Okay, thank you so much, Linda.
You are welcome.
I know, I no doubt you're a warrior. You're a warrior woman. See you soon. Thank you so much.
Thank you.
Gracias, Arnulfo. Now I'm moving on with Fernanda Smith. Fernanda, ¿me escuchas?
Sí, claro que sí.
Vas, Fernanda.
Un,
Go ahead.
sí, un segundito nada más.
Sí. She's asking us just to wait for a moment.
Sí,
Ya,
a ver.
vas, Fernanda.
Hello,
Hello.
Linda. Good afternoon. Welcome to Mexico. It's a pleasure to meet you. We are very happy that you are performing at the HERA Festival. I'm Fernanda Smith, independent journalist. How do you feel about participating in a festival that is making visible the human rights of women and minorities?
I'm very proud to be a part of something that has such a wonderful statement and stands for something. You know, that's, if anybody knows about me and my career, I've always been a very outspoken, you know, artist and producer, songwriter, just person, I guess, human. I'm an outspoken human. But so anything I can do to participate in anything that's moving things forward, it's an honor to be a part of.
Yeah. Thank you, Linda.
Thank
Bye.
you.
Gracias, Fernanda. Thank you, Linda. Now I'm moving on with a question from Luis. He is from El Sol de Mexico newspaper. I'm gonna say it for him. He's asking, Linda, you talked about what the music industry should do to achieve gender equality, but what can the audience do?
Good question. You know, I guess I don't know. I mean, because if you think about that question, that means we would have to almost force people to, like, what? Not buy an album because it didn't have all female on it. Not go to a show because it doesn't have equal amount of women in there. I guess the audience can just be more vocal to their artists, you know, because we are in a very interesting place right now with the audience, because the audience is almost can be as powerful as the artist. So like if you remember when Gaga had her Little Monsters, I mean, that audience would fight a battle for her. And they would get together on Instagram and they would start a whole social media thing. Taylor Swift, the Swifties, you know, all these artists that have these really Beyonce, what they call bees, or I don't know but so I guess it would have to start with, like, I know Olivia Rodrigo has, has women as guitar players and musicians. She tries to bring in as many women as she can into her live show and into her albums. So I guess if her audience saw that and focused more on that over what Olivia had for lunch, maybe they could join in and start a movement. Now imagine if Olivia Rodrigo fans, Swiftie fans, Beyonce fans all got together and joined together to promote one message, and that's female equality in the music business. That would make a major change. But maybe the audience needs to have some guidance in order to make those changes, because they do have the power to do it.
Correct. Thank you so much for that. Now I'm moving on with Hugo Tenorio from Rock 101. It's a radio station. Hugo, please go ahead.
Hello, Linda. How are you? Can you
Hello.
hear me there?
Yes.
Before of all, you're really humble, but you are also a legend. Let me say that, please. And well, you already talked about your experience coming soon in the HERA's festival, but we know that you got new music from 2022 to now you're making music for movies. How this began and what are your plans? You are still making music for movies. Tell us about this experience, please.
Yes, so I was probably 2019. So, you know, I'm a very honest person when it comes to music and my art. It has to come from honesty. Otherwise, I don't feel good, right? And so I was getting a lot of big artists, you know, asking for, can you write me a song like this? Can you write me a song like that? Can you write me What's Up? Can you write me Beautiful? Can you write me, you know, Superwoman? Can you do this? And I didn't, or they would want a song like a Beyonce song or this song, you know, like everybody wants to copy everybody. And it just got very heartbreaking for me. Like, I'm a very sensitive to a fault, you know. And I decided, you know what, maybe it's time for me to step away from writing songs for people. And then I sat down and I thought, what would I like to do? And I was like, I would be great at scoring film and TV. So I just walked out into my studio. This is my studio. I have a yard. I just walked out in the yard and I'm like, okay, universe, I want to score, film and TV. And I kid you fucking not, a week later, I got a job. Someone asked me to score this film called Citizen Penn. It's a Sean Penn documentary about when he went to Haiti during the earthquake. And then that led to one thing and to another. So yes, I am still scoring. I have a few projects coming out. I have a few projects that I'm waiting for to clear. And I'm also working on Paris Jackson, an album for her. I just did a Kate Hudson record that was just released. It's really a good record. You guys should go check it out. I just did Ringo Starr EP called Crooked Boy. And then I just scored my own documentary and I wrote all these songs for it. So, and mind you, I have a 9-year-old daughter, and so it's like, I'm a very busy person, but I love it. I love it because when you do things that you love, everything it has no effort, it just flows, right? How many times have you done something that you don't like and you feel that struggle, right? Like it feels like a 5-hour day turns into 3 days. And I don't want to do that. I don't want that for myself. I want it to feel like everything is just moving and flowing. So I appreciate what you said at the beginning. That's very nice. I try to be my best version of Linda as I possibly can. And the beautiful thing about life, it doesn't matter how old you are, you just keep becoming the better version of yourself until the day you die, And I feel like what I'm doing right now is really awesome. It's really great. It feels like really solid and emotional and honest. So I feel like I'm in a good place again, writing songs for people, because now I think people want that honesty back in music.
Thank you so much. We can wait to have you here in Mexico next August.
Yes, I can't wait to.
Thank you.
Gracias, Hugo. Thank you, Linda. Now I'm moving on with Rodrigo from Mundo Young MX. Rodrigo, ¿me escuchas? Rodrigo. Okay, let me just see what's up. I'm moving on right now with Fabian from Visión MX. Fabian?
Hello, Adriana. Hello, Linda.
Hi.
Well, thank you, Linda, for answering these questions. It's also a pleasure to chat with a star, one of my parents' favorite artists. And well, Linda, what do you think is the key factor that makes a woman essential in creating gritty music?
Wait, can you repeat that? I'm sorry.
Yeah. What do you think is the key factor that makes a woman essential in creating gritty music? Gritty music, like badass music,
Oh, I don't understand the question. Can it, and there's some breakup in your, so that's breaking up in certain areas.
Oh, okay.
So
okay,
it's hard
okay.
to hear.
Do you copy now?
There you are. There
It
you are.
sounds better.
Okay,
Suena
okay,
mejor.
okay. I will repeat the question. Just one moment, please. Well, what do you think is the key factor that makes women essential in creating gritty music?
Are you saying gritty music?
Yeah, gritty music.
Great.
Oh, great music.
A key factor.
The key factor in creating great music. I believe that anytime okay, I gotta refracture it because there's so many different processes, so like for instance, I come from the heart, right? That's where I come from. So if I'm like, if I had a guitar, I'd show you, but I could be just sitting here and I could just pick up my guitar and I could be having a feeling, and then all of a sudden a song will just show up. That's my process. I wait to discover the emotion, right? And so that would be called singer-songwriter. Bob Dylan, you know, Brandy Carlisle, Joan Baez, Phoebe Bridgers, like artists like that kind of approach music more like that, right? But then there's the Rihanna, Beyonce, those type of artists where they're not picking up an instrument and they're going to write a song, but they rely on their producers, their songwriters to have an understanding of what is intriguing and interesting and unique and a different sound for a kick drum. It comes more from sonic and trickery, you know what I mean? It's like, so that's why you get these really cool produced tracks that like as a really cool kick drum, and there's the drops, and then these weird sounds show up, and then there's blah, 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 you know, backwards things, filtered shit. The song all relies on this machine right here called Pro Tools, right? Where what I do, everything relies on the song to show up, and then I'll add drums. And so neither one is better than the other. But what the difference is there's people who are so masterful at those modern sounds and being able to disguise a mediocre song and make it sound like a great song through sounds. You know what I'm talking about, right? And then, but the organic people, they can't make a bad song sound good with, you know, the drum tones or anything, you know what I mean? If the song ain't good, song's not good. How many songs of any of the artists that rely on Pro Tools and those type of sounds, if you take all of it away, do we have a good song? I don't know. If we take away all of the tricks, all of the filters, all of the beats, all of that stuff, is there a good song, or is there just interesting sounds? So my answer is there's really very great sounds out there, and there's people that do really great stuff that grab your ear and it sounds hooky. And then there's great people who do organic process as well.
Thank you so much. Thank you so much, Linda. I can't wait to see your show in HERA Festival. And thank you, Adriana. Thank you.
Thank you.
Gracias, Fabián. Now I'm moving on with Rafael from altisonante.net. Rafael, ¿me escuchas?
Sí, muchísimas gracias, Adriana. Hello, Linda. I'm
Hello.
really enjoying this talking to you today, and I really love it. You were talking about the teenage girls. I have 2 daughters, and I just wanted to ask you about the challenges that you see that the little girls and teenage girls are facing about music, about making music, about thinking about a career in music. And also I wanted to ask you, what is the biggest challenge that you yourself are facing now?
Well, the teenage girls, I feel what their biggest issue, not their issue, their biggest obstacle and challenge is to get past what is, I guess, society. Here, I don't know what it's like over there, but you have girls being brought up and told that who they are and what they look like is not good enough. And we're talking about 12-year-old girls that want liposuction, 12-year-old girls that want to take Ozempic, 12-year-old girls that want to get Botox. We're in the Kardashian world where girls are putting fake butts on themselves to look like a Kardashian. That they're being taught that your looks and influence is more important, so to focus on that. And then they're also being bullied on social media, in schools, because they're not those things, you know? So the biggest challenge to me is just a teenage girl, a transgender child, an LGBTQ girl or boy surviving this society the way it is right now without killing themselves because they got bullied too much. That outweighs whatever music and entertainment. Like, that's the biggest crime going on right now in the world, is social media and what it's doing to kids. It's just as loaded as a gun. And it's very frightening to me. And so I'm hoping that kids that have artistic influence and want to be creative can take their words and take their songs and go express themselves. And what they need to know is just be who you are. Be the artist you want to be. Be the original risk taker and the surprise element that you are feeling instinctively is who you are. Because it's all the kids that are trying to replicate that is becoming a bigger issue. To me, I would even consider it a bigger issue than global warming right now. You know, what social media and TikTok and influencers and all that is doing to the children of our country is outstanding to me. It's like, I can't believe it. So I would say, let's focus on how we can keep our children healthy first. Let them have a good mind, feel loved, feel supported, and then let them remind them that who they are is good enough.
Thank you very much, Linda. Thank you. Gracias, Adriana.
Absolutely.
Gracias, de verdad.
De nada, gracias, Rafael. Thank you, Rafael. And now I'm moving on with sadly, our last question. This is from Antonio from El Parlante. Antonio, ¿me escuchas? Can you hear me?
Yes, Adri, thank you very much. Hi, Linda.
Hi,
First,
Antonio.
the question in Spanish for the journalist and then in English for you, okay? A mí me gustaría preguntarte, tus inicios en los escenarios de San Francisco te dieron una visión de primera mano de la industria musical. Si pudieras viajar en el tiempo y hablar con la joven Linda que se abría paso en bares, clubs y cafeterías, ¿qué palabras de aliento y sabiduría le darías sobre el camino que le esperaba, especialmente en lo que respecta al empoderamiento de las mujeres en la música? Your early days performing in San Francisco gave you a first-hand look at the music industry. If you could travel back in time and talk to the young Linda, making her way through bars, clubs, and cafes, what words of encouragement and wisdom would you give her about the path and that lay ahead, especially in regards to the empowerment of women in music?
Good question. Thank you. I guess I would honestly say that I love my career. I loved every movement, every choice, bad and good. I love every conflict that I got into. I loved every button I pushed. I loved getting kicked out of places. I was blacklisted for several years because I was an asshole. I love the woman I'm becoming, and I love the artist that I'm starting to get re-inspired with. So I would just probably tell my younger self, kick back and enjoy the ride, because it's going to be a big one. I love every ups and down. I mean, this business sucks, man. It really does, but I love it. I love every slimy person I've ran into. I love it all. I love, like, there's so many beautiful people too. I love all the places I've been able to go to. And I've loved how hurt I've been in this business, and I'll continue to get hurt. Like, one of the main reasons I didn't want to be an artist anymore is because I'm so fucking sensitive. Like, we could be playing in front of 30,000 people, and I would find the one person that wasn't interested, and I would use them as, I suck, I'm terrible, I'm a horrible performer. And then everybody would be like, but Linda, the crowd, it was sold out. Everybody loved it. Like, not everybody fucking loved it. There was that one girl in the back and she wasn't paying attention. That's the kind of shit I focus on. And I don't know. Listen, I'm crazy. I've sacrificed so much and I continue to, but I love it. There's an emotional strain and a sacrifice that happens. I'm tortured, but I'm beautifully tortured. And that's never going to go away because that's the way I was born. I was born depressed. I had a shitty life. I was, my upbringing sucked. But you know what? Because of that fucked up shit, it drove me to be who I am and where I am today. So I really wouldn't say anything to her except for just enjoy it, because it's going to be a fucking long ride. And I think that's how we should approach everything, like, we should approach everything with the expectation of, where am I going to be at the end of this? And I feel like I've been in this business for a while now. I'm 59 now. I was 24 when I started, and I'm 59 now. So it's quite a jump, but I feel like I'm way smarter. I feel like I actually am more attractive than I was when I was younger, but maybe because I think I am, like, I was very insecure as a kid, and maybe I was cute, but I didn't know it. But now I see, I'm kind of an attractive person. I can see that. And, I'm smart. I got, I'm a wonderful mom. I have good friends, and yeah, I'm a good person. So, I wasn't like that at 24. I wasn't thinking about being a good person. I was thinking about partying and meeting people and traveling and doing all this stuff. But I think that's a part of life, right? Like, we keep aging and we had different priorities. So my priority now is just to enjoy the rest of the time that I'm here. I have a question for you. Are you okay today? Like, what's going on with you today?
More or less.
What? How are you today?
Fine, thank you.
No, I feel like that's just a short answer. Are you doing good today?
I'm trying to make a really good person for me.
Yeah.
And I'm going to, I don't know, maybe one day having the succeed that you have, and all of the persons that I ask in this conference and that I took photos. So this is that's my dream, and I would like to be successful more than I am, but it's a long way.
What time is it over there for you?
12:35 p.m.
Okay. Did you have a good morning? Like, did anything happen today to you?
Well, I didn't start in the very good way, but I think that the rest of the day it's gonna be fine.
Okay. I can sense that about you. I'm very witchy. I'm very intuitive, but you have a good day, okay? I can tell have a lot of heart, and I see some struggle in you, and everything's going to be okay. Promise, everything's going to be okay. All you have to do is just trust that it's going to be okay. but be easy on yourself. It's terrible being hard on yourself. It's not good. And I'm hard on myself all the time, but something about your energy is drawing me to asking you that. So I just want to make sure you're okay and letting you know it always ends up okay if we do the right things.
Thank you very much.
Of course.
Thank you, Linda. It was very moving and inspired. And I guess it's not just me. You moved all of us today here, and we really appreciate your time, you know, for being here with us today to answer our questions and being so kind with us. We are really looking forward to see you in August. And is there any other thing that you would like to say before you finish the conference?
No, I love all the questions. I love the energy. Thank you so much. And I hope I get to meet all of you in person when I'm down there.
Yes, we do too. Thank you so much. And you too have a good day, Linda. Thank you.
Bye, you guys. Bye,
Bye.
everyone.